Good morning, everyone. Paul Ruppel here with Fox 29 News Now. Hope you're having a great day. We're going to be taking you live in a few moments to a news conference from the North Carolina Emergency Operations Center, where I believe Governor Roy Cooper is about to give an update on the state's response to what is now Tropical Storm Michael. Storm has winds of about 50 miles per hour at this time, moving northeast at 21 miles per hour, so rapidly making its way up into the mid-Atlantic. Pressure has increased to 986 millibars. Of course, the storm has done terrible damage down in Florida. We're going to get you a report from down there. But wanted to get you to North Carolina. You can see the storm, as of the last update from the National Hurricane Center about an hour or two ago, was located in South Carolina, so it's moving into North Carolina. And it looks like officials are at the podium, so let's take you there live right now.
The ragged but still raging remains of Hurricane Michael have now come to North Carolina. The storm has already begun to lash our battered state with strong winds and heavy rain. I want all North Carolinians to be on alert, from storm surge on the coast to strong winds in the eastern and central parts of North Carolina to rain in the Piedmont and the west. Travel can be treacherous right now, and you should stay off the roads if you can. Already several water rescues are occurring in the west this morning. At least 16 roads have already been closed due to Michael, and this storm's rain and wind are now spreading east. If you have to travel, slow down and leave extra space between your car and others, and never drive through standing waters or flooded roads, and don't drive around barricades. More than 6 inches of rain have already fallen in some areas of our state, with more to come. With heavy rain comes flooding. Much of the state is under flash flood warnings or watches. Much of the state is under a tornado watch. Many locations in the
Looks like our feed cut out there for the moment. We'll get you back there as soon as we can. In the meantime, you're looking at satellite and radar imagery of Tropical Storm Michael right now. I believe that location near Columbia was from the last National Weather Service update. We'll be expecting another one, I believe, at 11 a.m. our time on the East Coast. Going to check in and see where the Roy Cooper news conference went and see if we can get that back for you. While we await that news conference to see if we can get it back for you, let's take a look live. This was Fox's Doug Luzader reporting on the storm this morning and FEMA's response. As the remnants of the hurricane make their way through the mid-Atlantic this morning, residents across the Florida Panhandle are waking up to the aftermath. Massive destruction and lives upended, but help is on the way. This was Doug's report at FEMA headquarters in Washington.
Now, here at FEMA headquarters, they will no doubt spend a good part of the day just trying to assess the damage that Michael has left behind, one of the strongest storms on record to hit the United States. As the weather began to clear along the Florida Panhandle, the scope of the devastation became evident. This had been a school gym in Panama City, and this isn't over yet, as now Tropical Storm Michael marches through the southeast.
Hurricane Michael is a hurricane of the worst kind.
FEMA pre-positioned assets in the area, but expressed concerns about what comes next as Michael storms its way through Georgia and the Carolinas, still recovering from Hurricane Florence.
Any amount of rainfall through South and North Carolina is not welcomed, but unfortunately it's going to be a reality, and it's going to cause problems as it pushes through as well.
And part of the response plan includes the United States military. One of its bases, Tyndall, was just about at the point of landfall.
We have proactively pre-positioned appropriate military capability and capacity to respond immediately from the north, from the south, from the east, and from the west, across the full spectrum of DoD capabilities at every level by air, in coastal and flooded areas, and on the ground.
And President Trump received a White House briefing as the storm was lashing Florida yesterday, but decided to move forward with a rally in Pennsylvania last night.
It's hitting and hitting hard. It's a big one of the biggest we've ever seen. All of Pennsylvania, all of America sends its unwavering love and support.
And the president said that he would travel to Florida very, very soon to see the damage that Michael left behind for himself. In Washington, Doug Luzader, Fox News.
I want to mention that video right off the top of Doug's package was courtesy of Brandon Clement of LSM. Again, that video of the school, I believe it was the video of the school right at the beginning there, was courtesy of Brandon Clement of LSM. You're looking right now at radar of Tropical Storm Michael as it moves its way to the north and east, crossing the boundary from South Carolina into North Carolina. We were hearing a little bit from Governor Roy Cooper of North Carolina on what's going on with the state's response there. Of course, the state's been pummeled with rainfall and wind by Hurricane Florence not long ago. And recovery is still underway there. I believe I heard that students had just returned to some colleges, including in the Wilmington area, and we're just getting back to classes, and now substantial amounts of rainfall 50-mile-an-hour sustained winds headed their way. Let's take a look at some of our weather conditions around the Philadelphia area right now. Of course, we're going to get some of the rainfall from this storm. Here are your current temperatures. 73 in Philadelphia, warmer to the west and south. Shore points at 75, Dover 77, Wilmington 75, Lancaster 75. Cooler up in Mount Pocono, 67. Here are your northeast regional temperatures. A lot of 70s on the map. And here are the U.S. temperatures. 80s down in Florida, 69 down in Houston, 56 in Dallas. So it's cool on the northern plains. See some 20s and 30s. Pretty cool out west as well. Las Vegas 64, Phoenix 68. West Coast starting up in the 40s up in Portland. Visibility in our area not great at the moment. Some places, some rain falling. Only 1.75 miles down in Wildwood, 2.5 miles in Atlantic City, 1.5 miles in Philadelphia. While there's other places with full visibility, 10 miles. Here's a look at satellite. You can see where those clouds are right now. Winds are picking up a bit. 17 miles per hour sustained in Wildwood, 14 in Atlantic City, 14 in Wilmington. Not as strong north of the city at the moment, although a bit in Mount Pocono. Here are your gusts. They're getting some gusts to 24 miles per hour and 24 in Wildwood, 20 in Millville. Dew points are pretty high this morning. We're back in the 70s for dew points. The National Weather Service in Mount Holly says though we typically associate October with we don't typically associate October with high humidity. This year has not been typical. The 70-plus degree dew point weather continues into tonight, leading to heavy rainfall. Relief in autumnal weather arrives on Friday. So this should be our last very sticky day for a little bit. You can see it's feeling quite humid right now. Let's take a look outside our studio at the current conditions. You can see the rain-slickened road. 73, there's that dew point of 72, and the wind out of the south, it's 6 miles an hour. It's a pretty gray day out there right now. And that dew point's making it feel a little more humid. Heat index, a little tick up. Oops. Here's a look at your 7-day forecast. You see tropical rain, 79 today, calling that a 7 in our weather by the numbers. Friday, AM rain, followed by PM sun, high of 63. Saturday, AM showers, cooler, 56 degrees. Sunday, sunny and cool at 60. See, we're getting into the 40s overnight lows on Saturday and Sunday. Saturday looks like an 8, though. Monday, shower chance 66. Tuesday, shower chance 55. Wednesday, looking like sweater weather, 59 for a high, 47 for a low. So, getting back into the weather, sweater weather. We haven't seen that in a while. Looks like we have the North Carolina press conference back. Let's get you there.
And communities recovering from Florence, Michael makes the job harder. We know Michael should clear out tomorrow. So let's be on guard and let's stay safe so that we can get back to the work of rebuilding North Carolina stronger and smarter. We'll take your questions.
Governor, I wonder if you or someone else could talk about these water rescues in the West. How many are there? Where are they occurring, and why?
It's Henderson. Well, I'll let you do it.
Yes, sir. So it's up in Henderson County and McDowell County. Don't have exact numbers yet, but it's being taken care of via local-to-local mutual aid. Buncombe County in Nashville, they have a big Urban Search and Rescue Task Force that has swiftwater rescue capabilities, as does Burke County, who also has swiftwater capabilities. So they're taking care of that mission right now. There's also, we alerted all of our swiftwater capability throughout the state in advance of this storm, so everybody's standing by and ready to go if needed.
In terms of a certain number of rescues, you're not aware of a number right now?
Not a number right now. Thanks.
In terms of the rivers cresting or any concerns for flash flooding, are there any particular issues you've seen in the West or those you anticipate here in eastern North Carolina?
We know that we expect some major flooding in the Tar?
The Haw.
The Haw River, and moderate flooding in the Tar and Rocky rivers today. We do encourage people to go to the FIMAN website, FIMAN.gov, in order to see all of the river gauges so you can tell when that happens. So we do expect that riverine flooding. But flash floods can occur in many places, and we have lots of watches and warnings for flash floods across the state. So we want people to stay alert, particularly those people who have experienced flash floods in their area before. The rain, over 6 inches now in parts of western North Carolina. So that rain is continuing to come. So we know that we're going to experience more flooding. Yes.
I know yesterday talking about 11 shelters still open for Florence. Any change to possibly opening any other shelters at this point?
Mike, I'll let you take that.
Yes, ma'am. There are some other shelters that are opening locally, and we anticipate that they'll be short-lived. But there's some shelters opening throughout the counties for folks in case they get flooded out.
Any other questions? All right, we will update you again and let you know the time. Thank you very much.
You've been watching a news conference by North Carolina emergency management officials talking about their response to what is now Tropical Storm Michael. As we mentioned, moving from South Carolina into North Carolina. Governor Roy Cooper talking about some of the state's response, how they're attempting to deal with the storm. Here's a look at storm's expected path. Should weaken to about 45 miles per hour later today. Then it'll actually strengthen a bit, back up to 50 and 60 miles per hour as it moves off the coast. It should go off the coast right off the tip of Delmarva there, it looks like. It'll continue to bring some rain our way. Here are the latest spaghetti plots of where the storm is expected to go. We talked about this a little bit earlier. Our weather by the numbers is 7 for today. It appears, I just saw a Georgia logo. We may get a news conference from Georgia momentarily. For the moment, let's get you a look around the region at our Fox 29 weather cameras. See conditions live in your area. We'll play those for you right now. Going to get you updates on two things we're watching right now. The first is the stock market has opened at 9:30 this morning. New York Stock Exchange is currently down 178 points, 177 points. This, of course, comes on the heels of a more than 800 point drop yesterday, a couple percentage points. You see right now, today's losses are about 0.7 of a percentage point. Dow Jones Industrial Average currently at 25,435. Fox Business is reporting that U.S. stock market investors face more volatility. That loss yesterday was 830 points. Stock futures were sharply lower overnight, but they trimmed their losses following a benign report on inflation. The Nasdaq also slid to a 3-month low, led by big tech names, including Amazon, which dipped into correction territory with shares falling more than 10% from their record closing high on September 4th. Apple, Microsoft, and Facebook were also down on the day. So, see a bit of volatility here in the markets this morning as they open. Nasdaq is actually up about 0.6 of a percent. I'm sorry, 0.6 points. We're going to keep watching that. The other update we have for you is the latest information on Tropical Storm Michael. You can see that's reflected there in the information on your screen. Minimum pressure is now up to 990 millibars. The storm is moving a little bit faster, northeast at 23 miles per hour. The max sustained winds are 50 miles per hour. Through the coordinates that they gave us on the map, and they're centering it right between Columbia, South Carolina, and Charlotte, North Carolina, right about the state line right there, near Interstate 77. So, still moving to the northeast at 23 miles per hour. As I mentioned, I do expect it to strengthen a bit as it moves off the coast. It's going to be inland for at least the next 12 hours or so, with 50 mile per hour winds approximately. Once it moves off the coast and becomes post-tropical or extratropical, the winds actually could increase to as much as 70 miles per hour for a period of about 12 to 24 hours before it moves way north and east and weakens. But that's the latest on Tropical Storm Michael. Let's see if that track has been updated here. See, it's going to be a low as it moves off the coast. But it could actually strengthen back into a hurricane, according to the latest information from the National Hurricane Center. So we'll be watching out for that. It could strengthen back into a tropical, it could remain a tropical storm near hurricane strength, I should say, 70 miles per hour, not quite, but could strengthen again off the coast. Vice President Mike Pence, Secretary Pompeo, and Secretary Nielsen are meeting right now with the Mexican Foreign Secretary and the Secretary of Government. They're co-hosting the second Conference for Prosperity and Security in Central America at the State Department. Let's listen in for a little bit about what they're talking about there.
International powers, this can break down the economy of a country.
Les puedo garantizar
Finally,
que con indicadores que están completamente validados por las instancias de Estados Unidos, nuestros indicadores en seguridad en calidad de gas, en lucha contra el narcotráfico, lucha contra el terrorismo y lucha contra todas las amenazas que nos ponen en riesgo a nuestra región. Y platicábamos que Guatemala en avión está más cerca de Washington que Los Ángeles de Washington. Y para nosotros eso es sumamente importante y una gran oportunidad de cercanía, de trabajo y de cooperación. Finalizo. Nosotros, con el Plan de la Alianza para la Prosperidad, hemos invertido de nuestro presupuesto en los 2 años y medio que yo tengo de gobierno cerca de 15,000 millones de quetzales, que equivale a 2,000 millones de dólares. Nosotros, de acuerdo a la priorización que el Departamento de Estado nos dijo que debíamos hacer. 5 departamentos en donde se registraba la mayor migración de personas. Para poder hacer eso, yo tuve que no priorizar 17 departamentos, o sea, cerca del 75% de mi territorio nacional, para poder darle cumplimiento al Plan de la Alianza para la Prosperidad. Hasta este momento, no hemos nosotros recibido un centavo. Se ha aprobado un 50% y hemos recibido de parte de Estados Unidos el planteamiento de que quizá no nos certifiquen el restante 50%. Nosotros, con toda humildad, con todo respeto y todo el cariño, quisiéramos incluso hacer una propuesta diferente, sencilla. Nosotros creemos ser un excelente aliado de Estados Unidos y queremos ser mejor. Nosotros veríamos con mejor ojos o con mejores ojos si ustedes pudieran ayudarnos a que entidades como el BID, como el Banco Mundial o cualquier otra entidad financiera nos pudiera financiar para infraestructura 15,000 millones de dólares. Y en los próximos 30 años nosotros podríamos pagar el capital y los intereses, y que se nos viera todas las líneas de transparencia que sean necesarias para la inversión en carreteras, en puertos, en infraestructura, en toda una infraestructura para protección y fortalecimiento de nuestras fronteras, que es un proyecto que hemos tenido con México. México lo pudo hacer, nosotros no pudimos invertir en nuestra infraestructura de los pasos fronterizos, pero si nosotros pudiésemos tener ese acceso al crédito, con créditos verdaderamente pagables y con todas las posibilidades de que la inversión sea con transparencia, nosotros seríamos los más interesados en que pudiéramos fortalecer el sur de Estados Unidos y el norte de Centroamérica y poder finalizar grandes proyectos como los que hemos hecho con Honduras en una unión aduanera sin precedentes, uniendo económicamente el norte de Centroamérica, dando ya el paso con El Salvador y la posibilidad de poder realmente tener con eso inversión, y eso nos daría trabajo y fortalecimiento de nuestra seguridad. Estamos siempre con la mejor disposición de poder servir y de querer ser sus mejores aliados en la región.
Thank you, Mr. President. Vice President Ortiz, please.
Gracias. Gracias. Un saludo muy especial a todos y a todas. Gracias, vicepresidente Pence, por recibirnos. Por supuesto, al secretario Pompeo, a la secretaria Nielsen y a todo el equipo que hace posible que estemos ahora reunidos en esta segunda conferencia para la prosperidad y seguridad en nuestra región centroamericana. Quisiera de manera especial saludar a los excelentísimos presidentes de Honduras, Juan Orlando Hernández, a Guatemala, Jimmy Morales, a los equipos que los acompañan, por supuesto también al canciller de México, Videgaray, al ministro de Gobernación Navarrete, y quisiera hacer una mención muy especial a nombre de nuestro país, reconocerle el trabajo al canciller Videgaray como un actor importantísimo en este esfuerzo que iniciamos en el año 2016 y que se ha ido fortaleciendo en estos últimos 2 años en este esfuerzo conjunto que tenemos trazado los países de Honduras, Guatemala, El Salvador, conocido como Triángulo Norte. No sería posible sin esta visión compartida con socios estratégicos como los que representan Estados Unidos y por supuesto México, que está a punto de entrar en una transición importantísima, histórica. Saludamos al equipo entrante y esperamos como país y como Triángulo Norte un compromiso reforzado de México.
We'll have a reinforced effort from Mexico because of the multiple interests and the multiple
cooperación
operations
y vamos a seguir desarrollando
that we are carrying out and will continue to carry out in all of the goals
en el
that we have
marco
set
del
forth
esfuerzo que estamos desarrollando en el Triángulo Norte. Nosotros nos
Northern
sumamos como país
We, as a country,
al acompañamiento, a la solidaridad,
our
por
voice to the
supuesto,
solidarity, of course,
de las miles y miles de
of
familias que han
the
sido
thousands
afectadas
of families that have
por este
been
fenómeno
affected
natural conocido como
by
Michael,
this,
que no solo está afectando a varios estados
phenomenon known as
de
Michael,
Estados
which is
Unidos,
affecting
sino
many states
también
of the United States,
a la región
but
centroamericana, de
also
manera
affecting
especial
Central
al hermano
America,
pueblo de Honduras.
especially.
Nosotros hemos
And
sido
our
impactados
other
también,
people
seguimos
of
siendo impactados por
Honduras,
esa depresión.
we
Hay
continue
miles de
to
familias
be
que
affected
están
by
siendo
that
atendidas
tropical
por nuestro
depression.
Sistema
There are
Nacional de
people
Protección
who
Civil,
are
que es un
being
sistema que hemos
taken care of
desarrollado,
by
estamos
our
fortaleciendo y lo más importante
services, and
es salvar vidas,
we think that the most important
tratar
thing
de
is to
evitar
save
pérdidas
lives,
humanas, que es el
to
centro de todo el esfuerzo que tenemos, y por
prevent
supuesto
the loss of
aminorar la
human
pérdida
life
de bienes de la
and
familia y las comunidades.
also of,
Y
goods
lógicamente
and services in the
este es un
community.
tema que tiene que estar en el
Logically,
centro
this is something
también
that must
de la
be at the
agenda
center of our
futura
agenda
del
for
Triángulo
the
Norte,
future
que es toda la
in the
perspectiva
Northern
ambiental
Triangle, which
y
has
los
to do
impactos
with
negativos
the
que esto
environment
puede
and the
tener
negative impact
en los próximos años
that
en los
the
propósitos
climate can
que
have
tenemos
in our
planteados.
next few years,
Quiero
that will affect
establecer un saludo
our
de parte de nuestro
goals and
presidente
objectives.
Salvador
I bring
Sánchez Serén.
the best wishes
Hay una razón
of
muy
our
especial por la que
president,
ahora no se
Salvador,
encuentra y me ha
Sánchez
delegado
Serén,
esta importante
who could
participación
not be
en esta
here
segunda
at this
conferencia,
important second
y es que
conference.
para nosotros esta es una semana histórica.
And it's because
El
this is a
presidente
historic
está
week in
saliendo
our country.
para Roma,
The president
dado
is
que
going
a partir
to
del día
Rome
viernes
because
comienzan
as of Friday,
los eventos trascendentales
we begin
donde
the
se va a
transcendental
nombrar
events where there
a
will
nuestro
be,
beato, se va a canonizar, a santificar a nuestro beato Monseñor Óscar Arnulfo Romero, que va a ser un evento histórico, va a ser el primer santo en la historia de nuestro país, y no solo para El Salvador, sino para América Latina y para el mundo. Y en ese sentido quiero dar las disculpas correspondientes. Nosotros comprometidos con esta visión compartida como socios que somos. Esta visión compartida que se construyó en el año 2016, que se está fortaleciendo en el transcurso de estos años y que tiene un propósito importantísimo: cómo generar estabilidad, cómo generar prosperidad, cómo generar mayor seguridad y sobre todo más democracia en nuestro país. Y dentro de todos esos esfuerzos que fueron integrados en esta agenda, hay un tema que todos estamos de acuerdo. Si nuestros países son estables, crecientemente prósperos, generando más y mejores oportunidades, está muy claro que lo primero que vamos a tener en los próximos años es una disminución estructural y sostenida del tema de la migración irregular a otras fronteras, especialmente México, que es un punto de paso, pero especialmente el tema de los Estados Unidos. Nosotros hemos venido trabajando de manera muy organizada, muy planificada y muy estructurada con los compromisos que tomamos en el marco del Triángulo Norte. Solo para poner un ejemplo, solo en este año El Salvador ha bajado el 60% de la migración irregular que tiene que ver con la frontera sur de los Estados Unidos. Esto es, en nuestro caso, yo diría, histórico. Muy pocas veces habíamos tenido esta perspectiva de una tendencia decreciente de la migración irregular. Ahora, esto no lo resuelve. Esto no es un punto final. Este tema que nos aparece a los países de Guatemala, El Salvador y Honduras tiene que ser sostenible. Y para que sea sostenible, lo que hay que crear en nuestros tres países es más inversión. Y poner en el centro el tema de la economía. Y poner en el centro el tema del empleo digno, especialmente para jóvenes y mujeres. Cuando digo empleo digno es porque el empleo es el único que genera ingresos y los ingresos son los únicos que generan la posibilidad de invertir en la familia y en las comunidades, y en la medida que hay inversión en la familia y en las comunidades, definitivamente hay un reforzamiento de la esperanza, de la ilusión, del sueño por mejorar la condición de vida en su tierra, en su comunidad, en su territorio. Ese es el centro de todo y ese es el sentido de la Alianza para la Prosperidad. Si no hay inversión creciente en nuestros países de El Salvador, Guatemala y Honduras, es muy difícil hablar de sostenibilidad en el corto, mediano y largo plazo. Y es aquí el tema central de este intercambio que estamos teniendo. ¿Cómo vamos a movilizar con nuestros socios estratégicos en los próximos 5 o 10 años mayor inversión, no solo del gobierno de los Estados Unidos, sino de...
You've been watching an event where Vice President Mike Pence, Secretary Pompeo, Secretary Nielsen are co-chairing an event with the Mexican Foreign Secretary and Secretary of Government. That's the second conference for prosperity and security in Central America that's occurring at the State Department. I want to get you back to a little bit of information about the hurricane, now Tropical Storm Michael. We just got a report from our sister station in Atlanta. That's WAGA, Fox 5 WAGA in Atlanta. This is Denise Dillon in Albany, Georgia, discussing the aftermath of the hurricane.
It's just astounding when you look around and see the damage that was caused by Hurricane Michael. Now, usually when we do stories like this after storms, we're talking about all the trees that have fallen over. And believe me, there are plenty of downed trees here in Albany. But I want to show you this huge metal pole bent at a 90-degree angle. It was holding up this 10-foot by 20-foot billboard that is now in the middle of the street. Not far away, a tin roof blew off this storage shed, flew through the air, and crash landed in the parking lot of the Shackelford Shopping Plaza, taking out part of the building.
A piece of this building right here is like way on the railroad track area, so half of the building, and then half of this building is like right here in this beautician location right here, which is actually knocked down the half of the building right here. I mean, it's like real bad around the surrounding neighborhoods and stuff, and like over there in my neighborhood, we're like literally blocked in. We cannot even get out.
Driving around the city in the Fox 5 Storm Chaser, we can see that most people still do not have power. Many lost power late Wednesday night. You can see just down the road, police directing traffic. That is, of course, because the traffic lights are out. And there is no word on when everyone will have their lights back on. Reporting from Albany, Denise Dillon, Fox 5 News.
Again, thank you to our sister station in Atlanta for providing that report. I think it was a bit unexpected that the storm would carry so much strength and momentum across the Florida Panhandle and into Alabama and Georgia, and you can see that it had significant damage still in Georgia, inland, far inland. That pole and billboard getting brought right down. I want to show you a little more footage from Atlanta, our Atlanta station that is. This was in Panama City, Florida. This is damage to docked boats. Sisters of the Sea Marina in Panama City Beach, Florida. There were high-end boats damaged inside this marina here. We'll take a look at the footage. So just a bit more damage there to drive home the scope of the storm there and where things stand. We're told FEMA is moving assets into the area as quickly as possible to help with recovery and help get people back on their feet as soon as possible. In the meantime, I want to take another look at the stock market where that volatility continues. New York Stock Exchange is currently down 328 points. Dow now at 25,270. So it's off more than a percentage point, about 1.3% today after an 830-point drop yesterday. These are new session lows after that 831-point sell-off yesterday. Fox News Research tweeted a bit ago that Federal Reserve and interest rates from December 2008 to 2015, the benchmark rate was near zero. There have been 8 hikes since December 2015, and 3 of those have come in 2018. That's one more than was expected. The current rate is 2 to 2.25%. Hike in the benchmark rate can increase cost of car loans, credit cards, and mortgages. And the Dow Jones, as of this morning, at a time this morning, was down about 3 percentage points since that last rate hike on September 26th. So again, the Dow hitting some fresh session lows Thursday morning today. Down about 363 points. Still above the 25,000 mark, but off about nearly 1.5 percentage points at the moment. Got one more clip dialed up for you from our station here in Philadelphia. A new art installation is now on display at the Philadelphia Navy Yard. You may have already seen it all over your Instagram. I'll show you this. It's called Sea Monsters Here. If you grew up in the 1970s, you might remember the kids' TV show Sigmund and the Sea Monsters. This art project is the brainchild of 2 artists from the United Kingdom, in collaboration with Philly artists from Group X and the Navy Yard. The artists say they want everyone to be able to enjoy this fun installation. You have 5 more weeks to check out the Sea Monster. I believe our Fox 29's Lauren Johnson was out there this morning checking this out. Here's some of the footage they got. Those are some impressive tentacles, large, protruding from the windows and the roof and everywhere else around the old vacant warehouse there. That's going to do it for now from Fox 29 News Now. Leave you with a look at the stock market again, 355 points down at the moment. It's a pretty rainy, drizzly day today. Stay dry if you can. We should have the remnants of Hurricane Michael moving through this afternoon, and hopefully conditions will improve around the region. Have a great rest of your Thursday. We'll see you on Friday.